Welcome to the Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up for the week ending September 13th, 2024. This is your trusted source for expert analysis on the latest developments in international intelligence, national security, and counterterrorism. In this episode, Neil Bisson, a retired intelligence officer with over 25 years of experience in national security and law enforcement, takes you beyond the headlines to uncover the stories that matter most. From foreign interference to espionage and the latest trends in global terrorism, Neil provides insights you won't hear anywhere else and expert perspectives that rival top-tier intelligence reports. Stay connected by subscribing on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or simply ask your smart speaker to play Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. And if today's insights spark your interest, we invite you to leave a comment, give us a rating, and share it with your network. Want to support the show further? Visit buzzsprout.com/2336717/support or head to buymeacoffee.com/GIKN. Every contribution helps us keep bringing you the expert intelligence analysis you rely on. Now, let's dive into the critical stories from this week. Get ready for all the key insights you won't want to miss.
Hello, welcome back to the Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. Our first story focuses on a concerning development involving Russia's military intelligence service, the GRU. Recent accusation by Germany's domestic intelligence agency, the BFV, claims that the infamous GRU Unit 29155 is behind a series of cyber attacks targeting NATO and EU member states. According to the BFV, Russia's GRU is running a cyber warfare unit specifically designed to disrupt critical infrastructure across the globe. The attacks are not just targeting Germany and other NATO countries, but also extends to the United States. The GRU Unit 29155, also known as Cadet Blizzard or Ember Bear, has been implicated in espionage, sabotage, and even foreign assassinations. This isn't the first time that this unit has made headlines, as it is suspected to have been involved in the high-profile operations like the 2018 poisoning of Sergei Skripal in the UK. From an intelligence perspective, this is highly significant. Cyber attacks have increasingly become the weapon of choice in modern espionage and sabotage efforts. This particular GRU unit is no stranger to covert operations that undermine Western democracies, and their cyber activities now add another layer of complexity to the ongoing tensions between Russia and the West. The GRU Unit 29155's reputation for destabilizing Western countries extends far beyond cyber attacks. They have been linked to various assassination attempts, including the infamous Skripal poisoning, which shook the international intelligence community. It's crucial to remember that this unit operates under the umbrella of Russia's military intelligence, carrying out missions that aim to weaken Western alliances. These accusations come at a time when Western states are already on high alert, given Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. Since February 2022, Moscow has ramped up its cyber and espionage activities, often targeting countries that openly support Ukraine. Just earlier this year, Germany accused Russia of orchestrating cyber attacks against its government and defense sectors, particularly focusing on aerospace and IT industries. In their joint advisory, the BFV, along with the FBI, CISA, and NSA, emphasized the global reach of this cyber warfare group. They warned that these cyber attacks are responsible for espionage, sabotage, and reputational harm, all actions that extend far beyond simple data theft. What makes it even more dangerous is the fact that cyber attacks are increasingly being used to cripple critical infrastructure, posing not just a national security threat, but also an economic one. From my professional perspective, we're seeing a disturbing pattern here. As more countries become reliant on digital infrastructure, the stakes in cyber warfare rise exponentially. Combine this with the recent reporting that Canada, Britain, and the United States are either supporting or contemplating supporting the provisions of missiles to Ukraine to strike further within Russian territory, and it's easy to see that Russian military cyber warfare attacks on Western infrastructure will continue to rise. The fact that Unit 29155 is involved in these operations shows how state-sponsored hacking is now the primary tool in international conflicts. Germany's latest accusation against Russia's GRU highlight a significant escalation in cyber attacks targeting NATO and EU members. Unit 29155's cyber warfare activities focus on espionage and sabotage, and mark a continuation of Russia's long-standing strategy to destabilize Western democracy. As cyber attacks become more frequent and more sophisticated, it's critical for international cooperation and countering these threats to continue. As we move forward, it's important to ask ourselves, what does the future hold for cybersecurity in an increasingly digital world? And how can NATO and its allies strengthen their defense against these kinds of threats? Our next story brings us back to Canada to discuss a particularly alarming story involving a suspected ISIS plot in the United States that was disrupted right here in Canada. Conservative MPs are calling for a public safety committee to investigate how suspect Muhammad Shahzeb Khan managed to enter the country. The arrest of Khan, who was allegedly plotting a mass shooting at a Jewish center in Brooklyn, has raised serious concerns about Canada's immigration and security screening processes. The recent arrest of Khan, a 20-year-old Pakistani ISIS supporter, has prompted Conservative MPs to demand an immediate review of Canada's security protocols. According to reports, Khan was arrested just before crossing the border into the U.S. to carry an attack on October 7th, a date symbolically linked to the anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel. From an intelligence perspective, the situation is particularly troubling. This marks the second ISIS-related plot disrupted in Canada this summer. Khan's case follows the arrest of Ahmed and Mustafa El-Didi, a father and son also accused of planning an attack for ISIS in Toronto. The fact that these incidences have occurred within such a short time period indicates that a significant gap in Canada's ability to prevent extremists from entering the country exists. We've seen a rise in ISIS affiliation in relationship to terrorism worldwide since the group's emergence in the mid-2010s. But these recent arrests highlight a concerning trend within Canada. The El-Didi case shocked the country when it was revealed that Ahmed El-Didi had appeared in an ISIS execution video before immigrating to Canada. Security screening processes, especially for individuals coming from regions associated with terrorist activities, should be robust and capable of detecting such backgrounds. Yet the fact that Khan may have entered Canada on a student visa, as suggested by Jewish groups briefed by the RCMP, shows the vulnerabilities remain in the system. What makes this even more concerning is that this comes at a time of heightened anti-Semitism. Jewish groups, like Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center for Holocaust Studies, have noted an uptick in terrorist threats and attacks on Jewish schools, synagogues, and community centers. Michael Levitt, president of the center, emphasized the need for stricter immigration and vetting protocols to prevent further threats. The Conservatives are now pressing for an urgent investigation into how Khan managed to slip through the cracks. Their letter to the Public Safety Committee highlighted the growing pattern of ISIS-affiliated terrorists entering and residing in Canada. While Immigration Minister Mark Miller and Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc have so far declined to provide details, citing the active investigation, Conservative MPs and Jewish community leaders believe more transparency is needed. From my own perspective, the increasing frequency of these cases signals that Canada's screening mechanisms, while generally effective, need to adapt to the new threats. I recently spoke with Al Tredenick and Phil Gursky, two retired intelligence professionals, on our podcast, Spies Like Us, about this very topic. I highly recommend you check it out, and I'll leave a link for it in the show notes. The use of student visas or other seemingly innocent entry points to gain access to Western countries for nefarious purposes is not a new tactic, but a persistent challenge for intelligence agencies worldwide. Combine this with the fact that a relatively small number of temporary visa permits are actually screened through CSIS for national security threats, and we have a very troubling picture of how terrorist organizations and foreign hostile states can manipulate the student visa program to threaten Canada's national security. This latest case involving Muhammad Shahzeb Khan raises serious questions about Canada's immigration and national security protocols. With the growing threat of ISIS-inspired terrorism and increasing attacks on Jewish communities, it is clear that this is not an isolated issue, but part of a disturbing trend. Moving forward, we must ask ourselves, how can Canada strengthen its security screening to ensure that individuals with ties to terrorist organizations like ISIS are identified before they enter the country? And what measures should be taken to protect communities at risk, especially in the light of rising anti-Semitism? Keeping our focus on concerns of growing terrorism in Canada, our next story examines the article, ISIS Suspect Came to Canada on Student Visa in June 2023. According to the Immigration Minister Mark Miller, Khan entered Canada in June 2023 on a student visa, just a month before his arrest. He was apprehended in Orangetown, Quebec, while reportedly attempting to cross the U.S. border to carry out a massive shooting at a Jewish center in New York for ISIS on the anniversary of October 7th Hamas attack in Israel. This case has raised serious concerns about immigration security screening and highlights vulnerabilities in our national security. From an intelligence perspective, it's alarming how someone with ties to an extremist group like ISIS was able to obtain a student visa and enter Canada undetected. This oversight and vetting protocols is something that cannot be ignored, especially in the current landscape of heightened global terrorism threats. But perhaps the most troubling aspect is the connection to ISIS. Khan's case is not an isolated incident. The RCMP recently arrested a father and son, Ahmed and Mustafa El-Didi, in Toronto for allegedly plotting a terrorist attack for ISIS. These incidents demonstrate that ISIS and similar organizations are still actively recruiting and mobilizing individuals, posing a direct threat to North American cities. This isn't the first time Canada has faced scrutiny over its immigration security protocols. The fact that Khan entered Canada on a student visa adds to growing concerns about how effectively our system is vetting individuals from countries with known ties to extremist organizations. The Conservative Party is now pushing for a public safety probe into how the system failed to flag Khan before he could have gotten this far in his plan. In terms of historical trends, this case mirrors previous incidences where determined individuals exploited immigration systems to gain access to Western countries. Whether we're talking about the 9/11 hijackers or more recent ISIS-inspired attacks, there's a long history of extremist groups finding ways to manipulate legal pathways to infiltrate countries. During a briefing, Mike Levitt, president of Friends of Simon Wessenhall Center, voiced his concern, saying, "Alarmingly, this latest incident once again raises questions about the rigorousness of our immigration process and vetting protocols. This echoes sentiments from the intelligence community, where there's an increased demand for tighter security measures, especially when it comes to student visas, which have been exploited in the past." As for my own take, I believe these cases highlight the need for continued collaboration between Canadian intelligence community, national policing, and our international counterparts, which was involved in investigating Khan. We've seen those joint efforts, such as this one, being critical in detecting and thwarting terror plots before they escalate. The arrest of Muhammad Shahzeb Khan in Quebec is a reminder that Canada is not immune to the global threat to terrorism. This case underscores the importance of rigorous immigration screening, cross-border intelligence sharing, and constant vigilance. As we move forward, we must continue to adapt our security measures to prevent individuals with malicious intent from exploiting our systems. Immigrants wishing to come to Canada should not have their potential access denied because bad actors with nefarious intentions are misrepresenting themselves and not being scrutinized enough to keep them out. We move south to the United States for our next story, where we'll be discussing a recent article entitled "U.S. Authorities Charge 2 Men for Encouraging Racist Attacks on Telegram." This disturbing case highlights how online platforms are being used to incite violence and promote extremist ideologies, in this instance by a group motivated by white supremacy. In this case, 2 individuals, Dallas Aaron Humber and Matthew Robert Allison, were arrested in connection with their involvement in the Telegram Collective, a transnational terrorist group operating on Telegram. The group used this platform to spread hate, distribute bomb-making instructions, and list potential targets for assassinations, including federal offices, federal officials, and minorities. Humber and Allison now face 15 federal charges, including soliciting hate crimes and providing material support to terrorism. From an intelligence perspective, this case underscores the ongoing challenge of digital platforms being used to promote extremist violence. While ISIS and other similar groups have garnered much attention for their use of social media to recruit and incite violence, domestic terror groups, including white supremacist organizations, have adopted the same tactics. Telegram, in particular, has become a favored platform due to its encrypted messaging services, making it harder for authorities to detect and disrupt these activities. This case highlights the growing intersection of online platforms and terrorism, an issue that becomes a significant concern for national security agencies worldwide. To provide some context, this isn't the first time Telegram has been linked to extremist content. Over the past decade, we've seen various terrorist groups use platforms like this to mobilize supporters and incite violence. However, what's particularly alarming about this case is the role of white supremacist ideology. In recent years, far-right extremists have been on the rise, both in the US and abroad, and these groups are increasingly adopting methods similar to those used by global terrorist organizations. The involvement of the Telegram Collective reflects a broader trend of far-right extremist groups connecting with like-minded individuals across borders. This creates a transnational threat that complicates law enforcement efforts, as these groups are no longer confined to one region or country. The digital age has allowed extremist ideologies to spread and recruit globally, creating a complex web of international terror networks. During a news conference, Assistant Attorney General Matthew Olson noted it would be difficult to overstate the danger and risk of this group and what they posed. The Justice Department made it clear that the defendants used encrypted platforms to hide their activities, celebrating violent acts like the recent stabbing of 5 people outside a mosque in Turkey. From my own analysis, this case demonstrates the power and reach of online extremism. whether it's white supremacist or extremist ideologies. The internet has become a breeding ground for hate and violence. Intelligence agencies worldwide face an uphill battle in monitoring these platforms, balancing privacy concerns and the need for the public to remain safe. The arrest of Dallas Aaron Humber and Matthew Robert Allison shed light on the ongoing threat posed by online extremist networks. These groups are no longer isolated incidents. They represent a growing transnational threat that must be addressed through enhanced intelligence sharing and counterterrorism efforts. For our next story, we're discussing an issue that's making waves in Canadian national security landscape. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other senior officials are set to reappear at the ongoing inquiry into foreign interference. This inquiry stems from allegations of meddling by foreign actors, particularly China, in Canada's federal election in 2019 and 2021. The focus of this inquiry is crucial: foreign interference. It's a hot topic, especially as Commissioner Marie-Josée Hogue interim report in May concluded that foreign meddling didn't alter the overall outcomes of two recent general elections, although there were indications that some ridings may have been affected. But what does this really mean from an intelligence standpoint? From my experience in intelligence collection and analysis, we know that interference in democratic processes doesn't always have to be obvious to be dangerous, and typically the less likely that a national security threat is identified, the more dangerous it is. Even small shifts in public opinion or disruptions in targeted electoral ridings can create long-term strategic impacts. In this case, China's alleged interference goes beyond simple electoral meddling. It involves broader objectives of influence, from leveraging political figures to influencing policy decisions that align with their national interests. This inquiry is set to focus on how well-equipped Canada's federal agencies are when it comes to detecting, deterring, and countering foreign interference. We're talking about how the RCMP, CSIS, and other national security players all having a significant role in ensuring that foreign interference doesn't compromise the integrity of our political system. But the big question is, are we up to the task? What gaps in capability and capacity might still exist? This is not the first time Canada has faced such allegations of foreign interference. In fact, this situation mirrors challenges seen globally, especially in democracies across the West. Just think back to 2016, the US presidential election, where foreign interference became front and center in the intelligence community's discussions. In Canada's case, this inquiry is part of a larger trend where adversarial nations are ramping up their attempts to exert influence over political processes. This is done through disinformation campaigns, political donations, cultivating relationships with key players, and as we have seen here, alleged manipulation of the electoral process. All of this leads to one of the key tasks of modern intelligence: not just gathering information, but proactively defending the political system we live in. The report indicates that while foreign interference didn't change the outcome of the 2019 or 2021 elections, the effect on individual ridings is less clear. This raises concerns because in close electoral contests, even minor interference can tip the scales. In terms of expert opinions, national security officials and analysts have voiced concerns that more robust measures need to be put in place. The involvement of senior officials and government bureaucrats in this inquiry signals seriousness of the issue. They're expected to be pressed on the internal capabilities and capacities of the national security apparatus, how prepared we really are, and whether the government has given them the resources they need to handle the growing threats posed by foreign states like China, India, Pakistan, Russia, Iran, and others. From my perspective, one of the key takeaways is that foreign interference operations are long-term strategies. They're not just focused on a single election or event. This inquiry, and the fact that the Prime Minister himself has returned to testify, shows that the problem isn't going away anytime soon. The inquiry into foreign interference shows the growing complexity of threats to Canadian democracy and highlights the importance of intelligence services in maintaining the integrity of our elections. As we wait to see what will unfold, it's critical to remember that foreign interference is not a one-time threat. It's an ongoing challenge that will require a multi-layered response from both intelligence agencies and policymakers. For our final story, we'll be discussing a recent development involving Russia and the United Kingdom. The article is entitled, "Russia Revokes Accreditation of 6 British Diplomats It Accuses of Spying." According to reports, Russia has expelled 6 British diplomats from Moscow, accusing them of engaging in espionage. The move comes as tensions between Russia and Western nations continue to escalate over the ongoing war in Ukraine. This article covers the escalating diplomatic conflict between Russia and the UK. The Federal Security Service of Russia, or the FSB, alleges that these British diplomats were involved in coordinating what they describe as efforts to heighten the political and military situation in Ukraine. Russia claims that the activity directly threatens its national security, which led to the expulsion of the 6 diplomats. From an intelligence perspective, this kind of diplomatic expulsion isn't new, but it signals an intensifying tit-for-tat dynamic between Russia and the UK, particularly given the ongoing war in Ukraine. Diplomatic expulsions of this nature often suggest a covert intelligence war beneath the surface, where both sides push boundaries and espionage, only to engage in public diplomatic actions as a response when caught. These kinds of actions can disrupt the true intelligence gathering capabilities and abilities of the expelled diplomats and damage bilateral relations. This incident fits into a broader pattern of increasing hostilities between Russia and the West, particularly since Russia's involvement in the illegal invasion of Ukraine in 2022. We've seen similar expulsions in the past, most notably back in May, when the UK expelled the Russian defense attaché and removed the diplomatic status of certain Russian facilities in the UK, claiming they were linked to intelligence activities. This tit-for-tat diplomatic exchange has deepened over the past few years, as Russia has increasingly been accused of using covert operations to influence foreign governments, spread disinformation, and interfere in democratic processes across Europe and North America. The current climate of hostility has led to tighter scrutiny and suspicion of each other's diplomatic missions, and Moscow's recent action further reflects the growing distress. While there are no direct expert quotes on this article, it's clear that both sides have made their positions clear. The UK government, through a Foreign Office spokesperson, has called the accusations completely baseless, emphasizing that the UK is unapologetic about its defending its national interest. This strong response underlines how serious the diplomatic rift is and the unwillingness of either side to back down. From my perspective, the diplomatic retaliation by Russia serves 2 key purposes. First, it sends a message to the international community, particularly to nations supporting Ukraine, that Russia is willing to take hardline measures. Second, it reinforces Russia's internal narrative of being under siege by foreign forces, which is used to justify further aggression both abroad and at home. Russia's decision to revoke the accreditation of 6 British diplomats accused of spying highlights the growing intensity of its conflict with the West. This move is part of a broader diplomatic chess game, where espionage, diplomacy, and national security are in a constant interplay. Looking ahead, we can expect further diplomatic fallout. Both Russia and the West continue to expel each other's diplomats and potentially scale up covert operations. And there it is, another week filled with international intrigue, terrorist-related activities, and global espionage. I hope you join me here next week for more insights and analysis on the most relevant spy stories in the media and what they have to offer. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up. Delivering expert insights and in-depth analysis on global intelligence issues that shape our world requires a lot of effort, and we hope you found today's episode valuable. If you did, we'd love your support. Whether it's a one-time contribution or ongoing support, you can help keep this podcast going by visiting buymeacoffee.com/GIKN or buzzsprout.com/2336717/support. Every bit of your support fuels our mission to bring you the top-tier intelligence perspectives you count on. Before you head out, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and share this podcast with your network. Your engagement is what helps us grow and reach more listeners who care about real-world intelligence insights. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or ask your smart speaker to play Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up, so you never miss out on the critical analysis that matters. We truly appreciate your continued support, and we'll see you next week with more essential insights and analysis on the shadowy world of intelligence.